side. Amongst the whispering trees, melody they bestow. Join us for the journey, let your worries go. Winding trails and paths unknown, I journey deeper, feeling free to roam. The weight lifts off, burdens start to fade in serenity. Their peace is made. Join us for the journey through the trees. Nature's song brings gentle ease amongst the rustling leaves. Join us for the journey through the trees. The rustling leaves, the gentle breeze, they speak to me with such ease. In this sanctuary I'm whole and complete. In nature's embrace, my soul finds its beat. Join us for the journey on the trail, where worries fade and spirits prevail. Amongst the towering peaks, peace shall know. Join us for the journey, let spirit grow.
In the morning light, on the sky so gray.
Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Putney Bridge in West London. There's a little panoramic shot of the Thames. I'm looking at basically where we left off last week, and we're going to keep heading westward. We're in Putney, and reassuringly we have a sign saying Thames Path. So what we'll do is we might need to cross a fairly busy street as we come on, but I think we can stay by the Thames for a little while, and we'll see how far we get. I have to confess that today's route is a wait and see sort of adventure. We're starting from Putney Bridge and we'll see how far we get. We may not get to Hikarious where we intended to go. Well, I'm finding that the stretches that I'm able to cover per day are not the conventional stretch of the Thames Path, because of course I'm wanting to take detours, I'm wanting to walk slowly so that it's not too rushed for you. So this is Putney High Street. Oh no, Putney High Street's over the other side actually. So we'll cross over the road here and we'll loop back to the Thames. It is a lovely sunny day here in London. Chilly, but so it's great to see some sun. Absolutely great to see some sun. And you can see the Thames Path sign there, letting us know that we are on the official route. So let's see if we can cross over. We'll wait for the green man. Usually I'm bold and I'll cross. Okay, we have a green man. Thank you to our one viewer on Facebook. You're our sole viewer at the moment. Welcome to Putney. So we're going to keep on walking along the Thames as you'd expect, with Hikarious as Is it Homerton, or am I missing up the name of the place? We'll see how far we get. I'm not going to set a destination, but if you are curious about where we are and you want to open up your favourite mapping application, you could look for Putney Bridge, and we're on the southern side of the Thames. So if you're curious, you can see exactly where we are. Let's have a look at this sculpture. See if we can get any information on it. Sculpture. There's no information about the actual sculpture. It looks to be just a map of the local area on the plaque for some reason. Let's go up here because it's nice when the sun shines in London. I really like it. That's Putney Bridge that you're looking at there, and then there's an old. Hello, welcome to our viewer on Twitch. We're in Putney in London, and we're walking west along the Thames to see what we can see. I think coming up ahead of us is some kind of rowing club or perhaps a sailing club, so we'll have a bit of a look at that. Pier, where you can get yourself a water taxi. We're strictly on foot at the moment. So as I was saying to other people who've been tuning in week after week may have heard me say before, as we head out of London and there's a lot more greenery, I may shift means of transport to a bicycle, and then I can cover some more ground. Otherwise, I do realise that this series is going to go on forever and ever for me to reach the source of the Thames, which is a couple of 100 miles away from where I am now. We've only done a tiny fraction of the complete distance. So, and we have a viewer on YouTube. Hello, welcome from YouTube. You are a rare thing. We don't get many people viewing on YouTube, so thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, my name is Andy. We're in Putney in West London, and we're heading along the Thames Path, the Thames being the river that goes through the middle of London, and we're heading out of London at the moment. So let's get a little bit of a panorama shot, because you may not have seen, there's the glorious Putney Bridge. If you'd tuned in a couple of weeks ago, you would have seen Tower Bridge, which is the much celebrated, much photographed bridge in London. So for anyone who's interested, especially in central London, going back and looking at our archive of videos, you might be interested to see some of the highlights that we've got there. Or you could re-watch the restreams and pretend that you were there at the time. So let's have a... right. Thank you. Yes, Nadia, #1 viewer. Thank you for tuning in. So here we are. We're in Putney, and we're on the south side of the Thames. And I didn't get much further than I'm almost at the limit to where I got when I attempted this 4 years ago. I didn't get much past here. There were parts of I think there's sort of parts here that are very much prone to flooding. And when I came here, there were sort of stretches of the Thames Path that were impassable. I took my shoes off and waded through for a certain amount, and then I think I gave up, thinking I came for a walk, not a swim. I think it was a bit later in the year, so the weather was a little bit warmer, and so wading through water wasn't as prohibitive as it is now, but I still didn't fancy it. It seemed to go on and on and on as well, so okay, so there's people by maybe having a picnic by the Thames. And in the distance there, well, you can't really see central London. If you used your imagination, that's where central London would be. But we're heading out of London now, so much more residential, quite affluent. And I think we're coming across a rowing or a sailing club here now.
They probably want to go up there.
Okay. Yep, so there's some rowers tending to their boats. So it's Dulwich College Boat Club. Oh, there's a whole range of different boat clubs. There's probably King's College School Boathouse. Right, so these are all of the rowing clubs for the various prestigious universities. So let's have a look at them. Preparing probably for a big summer season of rowing.
Thank you. No worries.
Okay. So we're in Richmond now. We're in Putney and sort of gone into Richmond. So this is nice having the sun shining on me, but it's still nice and cool. So cool enough for me to be wearing long sleeves. So, telling you what is coming up on Saturday. I'll be in Keswick in the Lake District in the north of England, and we'll have a walk around the lake there in Keswick. And then next Wednesday we'll be in the Shetland Islands, Lerwick, from Keswick to Lerwick. Oh, it looks like we've got a oh, okay. Excuse me, mate. Can I get through here, or should I go around?
Where do you want to go?
Sorry, I just want to walk along Thames Path. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. One of the things I'm paranoid about when people see a load of camera equipment, they probably think it's one of those auditor pricks whose job is to go around and antagonise people for clicks. I don't wish to make that my genre. So. There's a plane going somewhere. So my little brother, I got an announcement on Facebook. He's coming over from Australia with his partner, and that's who I'll be going to the Shetland Islands with next week. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him for well, just over 12 months. What's going on? Ryder Cup. Something to do with the Ryder Cup. I thought it must be a film set, but it's something else going on, I think. I don't know what. It's a lot of equipment anyway. It did have a sign saying Ryder Cup on the side. Is the Ryder Cup golf? I'm afraid I'm not the least bit sporty, so I'm not quite sure what the Ryder Cup is. I think it's golf. Stockies. Which seems a bit odd because it's not very golf coursey around here. Oh, okay. I do remember this part of the path where it's sort of, we go off road for a bit. So let's have a look at Beverley Brook Walk. It's a very dirty sign. Isn't there someone on YouTube that goes around and cleans traffic signs? That's it. Isn't it the online media are a great thing that people can have a niche in the most bizarre areas, and as human beings we're so fascinated by the bizarre, banal and unusual. I mean, I have to confess that I've spent hours on YouTube going down a YouTube tunnel and found myself watching stuff that I'm embarrassed to admit that I was watching, just because it's so bizarre. Nothing naughty, of course, because there's anything naughty on Facebook, but is it Marco Monsendo? Thank you for us saying, hope you're having a great day. You're watching on YouTube. I am having a great day. It looks like a stand for something. There must be some kind of, it might even be a race course, perhaps. I don't know. Yes, thank you, Marco, for getting in touch. Having a great day so far. So we started in Putney and we're just going to walk along the Thames Path for as far as we feel like. Today may not be as long as some of the other live streams that we've done because I have, unfortunately, my life gets in the way and sometimes you have to balance other things, and I need to get back for something work related. I mean, thank you to those 6 people watching us on various platforms on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. Lovely bit of sunshine. When I woke up this morning, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was perfect blue sky, and it's not often that happens when you live on a cold, wet rock. So, South Bank Sailing Club. So yeah, so we've gone from rowing to sailing. I can't see a lot of sailing going on today. I would imagine on the weekends this place gets quite busy and there's lots of people out on the water, but before 11 on a Wednesday morning, it's only people like me who are, well, I'm not tempted to get in a boat. That's not my idea of a good time. Walking's good. So if you use your imagination, somewhere back over there is central London, and that's where we came from the Thames barrier. And I think, if I had to guess, this was episode number 7 of our Thames walk. But if you go back and look at the videos, you should be able to see them. Great. Okay. Let's get this guy. He's moving a bit faster than. I can't read what the building is on the tree. It's exotic. Looks like some of the windows have been taken out there and boarded up. It's a strange thing. See a cable running along the ground. I wonder what that's for. Let's see how far it goes. Some dogs rooting around and you're having a great time. Oh, there's some rowers. That's probably what you wanted to see. Getting their practice in. It's not as exciting when you don't have a cox in the boat yelling at them. Okay. Okay, wherever you're watching us, I hope you're having a good time. You're enjoying this. If you do have any questions or we pass anything that you want to take a closer look at or more information about anything, as long as I have that information in my head, I can provide it. Anything about what we're doing here at Hikarious or anything that you see on the path or anything coming up. So the Shetland Islands, next Wednesday, it will be a departure from our usual programming. We're trying as much as possible to stick to Wednesday being the Thames Path series, but because my little brother is flying over to this part of the world, and I wanted to catch up with him in the limited time that he has over here, we've decided to go off to somewhere exotic like Lerwick in the Shetland Islands. So we're going to be leaving from Aberdeen, from the port in Aberdeen, and taking an overnight ferry. So I'm going to be sitting in a seat on an overnight ferry I hope the seas are good. I'm going to have a rocky, swaying night sitting in a seat. I decided not to go for a sleeper cabin. Just I couldn't really justify the costs, and I've been on overnight ferries before and been in a seat, and so, as long as you can find a comfortable position in a comfortable padded seat, it's fine. You can survive one night on the seas. Added to that, I was given the dubious invitation of sharing a sleeping cabin with my brother and his partner. But they did augment that offer with the fact that, well, we're both snorers, so we're going to be snoring all night long, and Angela gets motion sickness, so she's expecting to feel unwell for the duration of. So the idea of sharing a sleeping cabin with two snorers, one of them who may be spending the whole night with their head in a bucket, didn't really appeal to me. So I decided I would just stay in a seat. So it's great. This sunshine is being sustained. It's not lots of blue sky above. In stark contrast to yesterday, which was very, very rainy pretty much all day long. And when I looked at the weather report yesterday, I do believe that they were predicting the same kind of weather. So this is a nice surprise. So I was expecting to be rained on today. It's quite. Yeah, okay, there's the birds. We've got a dog catching up with its owner. Ooh, there we go. Okay, that water's really moving. I think we've sort of got a fairly tidal part of. Well, maybe it's just shallow. It'd be overstating it to call it rapids, but there does seem to be some kind of weird confluence going on there with water moving in different directions. Maybe a sort of a marine physicist would be able to explain that phenomenon to me and why it's happening. Maybe it's just a shallow part of the Thames, or maybe it's the tide is sort of at that crossover point. Okay, let's have a look at this. Steve Fairburn, famous oarsman and coach, head of the River Place, 1862 to 1938. So a famous rower and rowing coach, and he was probably from around these parts. As you can see from about 10 minutes ago when we passed all of those rowing clubs, this is sort of a bit of a hub for rowing. You often associate rowing in Britain with the Henley Regatta, and Henley is on our Thames Path itinerary. It's a few weeks away now, but we will be walking along the Thames in Henley as part of this walk. But you'll have to be patient for that if you're interested in Henley, and it's nice, especially I guess when there's stuff happening. I was out at Henley at the end of last year when there was a music festival on. I think it was a music festival with a definite 80s theme. There were lots of people in sort of Cyndi Lauper and Madonna outfits, and men with 80s mullets, in a fun way, in a sort of tongue-in-cheek way. So okay, great.
What's the message you want?
So it's much quieter than it was a couple of weeks ago when we were in central London. Less people around, more dogs. And of course, you viewers from wherever you're watching. I'd be interested to know where you're watching from. If you wanted to type in the comments whereabouts you are in the world. I'm interested to know where people are from and who might be interested in what we're doing, so that I can, you know, customize the content and capture and talk about things that might interest you. So there's some rowers, canoeists. Thank you to those people joining us on YouTube and Twitch and on Facebook as well. Wherever you're watching us, this is Hikarious. We're walking along the Thames Path in West London. We're heading out of London, heading westward towards, well, finally towards the source of the Thames, the official source of the Thames. But that's a long way away. We're certainly not going to get there today. So we were in Richmond. We've probably crossed over officially into another area of London now. I do remember these rather austere residences from the last time I watched. From the last time the last time I attempted to walk the Thames is what I meant to say. So you can see the remains of a pier there that must have at some stage been, you know, had commercial boats unloading goods, but of course it's not used anymore. We've sort of, all of that goes by road and rail these days. Check. Yeah, beautiful sunny day here in London. So the part of the Barnes, so this is the Barnes Trail. Oh, okay, that's good. Cyclists will be pleased to know that pedestrians have priority over them. So, funny that, you know, people enjoying the outdoors, depending on their mode of transport, are in constant friction with each other. Cyclists with pedestrians who are sort of getting in their way. I'm expecting that we should come across, in our more remote walks, we should come across a lot more horse riders. One of my concerns when it comes to that is that horses are easily spooked. So if they see someone with, I have a harness in front of me that sort of holds a camera facing me and then one going forward, and it does look unusual. I get some funny looks from people, let alone horses, and horses are easily spooked. So I'm a little bit apprehensive because I don't want to upset any horses. I like horses. So we'll have to see how they respond, and maybe every horse will be different. But I was walking with a group of probably about 30 walkers as part of a sort of regular hiking club that I go on, and we came across a horse rider sort of approaching us from the opposite direction on a fairly narrow path. So we all dutifully sort of stopped walking and sort of bunched up on the side and sort of stood on the side so that the horse could pass. And the horse saw 30 people all in a large group and sort of thought this is unusual and sort of stopped in its tracks. And it took some negotiation from the woman who was riding the horse to get this poor thing to summon up the courage to march forward and pass us. So horses are sensitive animals. So isn't this interesting? So this is just sort of a little paved area that's fenced off. Wonder what it was used for. There's no signage or anything like that, but it's sort of with the fence there. They obviously don't want people getting in there, so I'm not sure what the story is there. Presumably, that's where boats could have sidled up to it, and maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just sort of a place for boats to let people on, although I'm revealing my lack of maritime or water-based activities knowledge here. I don't think that's... Okay, so that's for Thames Side Tennis Open Day. I don't think that's a tennis court. It's a rather interesting looking bridge that we're coming up to. Very old looking bridge. I wonder what it is. With that sort of that green patina colour that sort of that a lot of metal bridges sort of turn into. Is patina the right word? I know that leather, you get a patina on leather when it sort of smooths out. I don't know whether patina is the right word. Today seems to be a demonstration of my lack of knowledge in every possible subject that I feel like talking about. So, there's a pub over there. I know about pubs. I could go on for hours about pubs. So pubs, to some extent, and this is probably a universal thing. The pub at the end of a walk is sort of universally everyone's reward for going on a hike. It's not unusual to have people on hikes spend half of the hikes going, "Oh, I'm looking forward to that pint at the end of the walk," half suggesting that the pub was the main point rather than the walk. It's all about the destination rather than the journey.
Worries fade and spirits prevail amongst the towering peaks. At least you'll know. Join us for the journey.
It's a big
Your
bird.
spirit grow. Hearts light and free.
Probably looks quite distant there, but that's not your normal. Interesting. Hi to those people watching. Hope you're enjoying this leisurely walk along the Thames Path, coming out of westward out of London. If you know anyone who might be interested in this type of thing, we'd love you to share this content around. Like and subscribe in whatever platform you're, because it is important at this early stage of this project to try and sort of find people who are interested in this type of thing, because it's not everyone's taste, is it? Okay. So boat race closure on the 30th of March. Oh, what a shame. A couple of weeks ago I was telling you about the boat race, so that's what all of that rigging was about. It was about the boat race between Cambridge and Oxford Rowing Club. And that is on the 30th of March, and I'm not going to be in London. I'm going to be up in the Lake District, so that's good to remember. So the boat race is on Easter, probably Easter every year, I would say, if that's a pattern. Okay, because I was hoping that I would be able to live stream that, but I can't be in two places at once. So you're just going to have to put up with the Lake District and its mountains and its greenery if you decide to tune in, of course, and we'd like you to tune in from Keswick in Cumbria. So I'm going up there with an organised hiking group, and they will be going on a hike. They'll be going on a hike somewhere where there's no network coverage. So what I've decided to do, for anyone who's interested, I'm going to drop them off at the trailhead that they're going to, and then whiz into Keswick, which is a sort of a smallish sized town, but at least has some network access. And there's a nice lake just by Keswick, so I figure we'll have a stroll around Keswick Lake and we'll have a view of the mountains, even though we won't be going up into them. So if you're interested in that, that's happening this Saturday, and we'll start streaming at 10:30 a.m. UTC, that's UK time, so you have to sort of map that to your own time zone and see whether, well, if you're watching us now, it's around about the same time of day as it's probably going to be convenient for you. What's going on over there? I have a sneaking suspicion that these clouds are coming in after my confidence. If you were with us on Saturday and we had a little walk around Lincoln, and that's in the East Midlands of England, and it was a beautiful sunny sky just before I started the live stream, and just as we were starting there was a few specks of rain. In my optimistic nature I said, this will pass. There's so much blue sky, and it pretty much rained for the whole live stream. So there's the Dove Pier. Rowing boats in there. We've got some litter pickers. Well, I've run out of things to say. I know there's 5 of you watching, so I hope you're enjoying this walk along the Thames. I should try and, there's someone behind the trees there in the water there's some people picking up litter, trying to keep the place tidy. It's a gripe of mine. People just sort of throw litter around. I sort of view it in the same light as people who sort of spit on the street. It's just sort of, I know I don't think there's any, I think there's probably cultures where spitting is less of a taboo than it is over here, but it's certainly pretty revolting. On my local high street there's signs that telling people no spitting, and that there's fines if they catch you spitting. It seems to me, what's going on here? It's not actually moving, but it's making a lot of noise. If they have designated roles and particular things that they're picking up, because it does strike me that if you're behind the rest of the group picking up litter, the people at the front have probably done most of the work for you, unless they're deliberately leaving behind certain categories of object. Probably would make sense to have different things in different bags. I'm not quite sure how much recycling goes on, or whether it all just ends up in landfill regardless, but You never know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at transport. Excellent. I'm being told by my man Ronald in the studio that the picture is coming through loud and clear for all of you, which is great. It seems like we've overcome some of our technical difficulties that we were having earlier on. We do aim to improve it and make things better. I do realise that the camera's jumping around a little bit, so I'm going to keep refining this harness that I've got to see if I can sort of enable a smoother picture for you. Let's have another. It's not a great. But you can see a lot of residential sort of terraced houses over the other side there. Sort of houses, a mixture of different eras. You know, you've got these old sort of pre-war buildings there, and then I would say sort of 60s, 70s style sort of buildings. Bit of a mishmash of different things.
Boat race?
Sorry?
Are you boat race?
No, I'm not boat race. No, I'm just a walker.
Ah.
I've got people on the internet sort of viewing from all over the world.
Well, I hope you've told them this is the site of the Great University Boat
It
Race
is, and
on
it's happening this Saturday.
That's
yes,
right.
I would have loved to have been there, but I'll be up in the Lake District, I'm afraid. So
That's
yes,
a lovely place to be. But
yes,
very,
thank you.
very
All right, okay, bye. Yeah. Oh, they're doing a good job. So that would all make sense. They're picking up the litter because they want it to be pristine for potentially, loads of people coming into London to watch the boat race, which is a big deal. You know, in the international rowing calendar, I think it's quite important. There's no Olympics, or do they have a World Championships for rowing? I wonder. They must have. Every sport has a World Championships, doesn't it? Or maybe it's just the Olympics and special events like this. Yes, so if you are local to London, or even if you're not, but you can find your way here this Saturday, you come and find a good posse along here and watch the boat race. So it's partly to enjoy the thrill of athletes sort of facing the wrong way and going backwards, but mostly for the festival atmosphere. I think that's probably the main draw of it. Good. I hope you're enjoying the live stream whichever platform you're using, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. We're here to take you along the Thames Path. Before I had that short conversation with the woman picking up the litter, I was going to. Here we go. I thought I had a message, but I don't. No one loves me. Right, so that's strange. Updates. Okay, so I was going to look for a good stop-off spot. So I'll carry on walking for a little while. As I mentioned before, I'm afraid I have commitments that mean that I need to sort of cut this. Okay, so I think we're going to go to Chiswick, and I don't think we're far away at the moment. So as soon as we find a bridge, we're going to do something. We're going to deviate from the plan, and I'm going to cross over to the north side of the Thames. And I know how exciting that sounds, walking on the opposite side of the river, because I need to get to Chiswick Station, because I have a meeting as part of my proper job that I need to get to. But we will be, we're going to finish up in Chiswick, and carrying on from here in 3 weeks time, because next Wednesday we'll be on the Shetland Islands in the far north of Scotland on a coastal walk. You can expect I'll be wearing a few more layers of clothing up there. It's almost sort of the Arctic Circle. It's a long way north, and I've been looking at the temperatures, and it's sort of hovering around 0, which is significantly cooler than it is here at the moment. And then the following week I will be in Italy on the Amalfi Coast, and it should be nice and warm and sunny there, I'm hoping. That's what I'm expecting. So I'm leaving my house in London, packing up a suitcase for Cumbria, which may be slightly cooler than this. It's the north of England. It's usually drops by a couple of degrees, and also we're sort of at higher elevation as well, so it could be quite chilly. And then Lerwick in the Shetland Islands, and then hopefully a warm, sunny Italy the following week. And so I've got to be packing clothes for all occasions, and of course these cameras, so that I can take you along for the ride as well. So if you fancy it. So that's where we've come from. Yeah, so I think a lot of the Thames Path that we're going into, there's going to be a lot of this, of sort of just dirt track with a sort of meandering river to one side of us. And there'll be little bits of suburbia and towns and pubs, and hopefully places to eat yummy food along the way as well. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, the time now is, we started this live stream an hour ago, and I believe about 20 seconds ago was the first time I mentioned food, and that, I believe, is a record. 11:28 a.m. it is in London. So I almost made it an hour without talking about food. I'm quite proud about that. So we're going to walk up to Chiswick, and if I can find a bridge to cross over the river, we'll have a walk across the river, and I'll meander my way towards Chiswick Station. But I'll probably leave you before I get to Chiswick Station, because if we can keep this on the theme of the Thames Path as much as possible, I don't want to be deviating too much from it. And then, as I said, in 3 weeks' time we'll pick this up, and we'll start in Chiswick and we'll head westward, and we'll see how far we can get. I think what we'll do on that occasion is we'll probably have a regular length live stream rather than this curtailed episode that we're having today. Haven't quite figured out how many Wednesdays it's going to take to get to the source of the Thames. But as I said, I'm considering the idea of getting on a bicycle, because I don't want anyone to feel rushed, and I don't want to miss anything, but at the same time, these trees and this grass and this river are all beautiful, but it could get a little bit samey. And it'd be fine if I was just walking by myself, but to some extent, if I'm bringing along other people, I feel like I've got to offer you, got to fit as many sights and interesting things in as short a time as possible, and I think a bike would help me do that. So I think that's what's going to happen. That's the plan. Okay, there's some rowers. Fantastic. So if you want to go back and visit any of these previous live streams, we're making a long form video of each of them to show the highlights, and they're quite popular thanks to all of those people who are watching them. If I'm not mistaken, YouTube is probably the place to watch that. Yeah, if you'd like to see highlights from the Thames Path, and they're sort of all of the sites, a lot less of me talking, and especially for those people who are interested in London as a destination, because we were in central London for the last few episodes, but we've been to other places as well. So it was sort of a city trip last Saturday in Lincoln, in the East Midlands, and into the cathedral. So if you're a fan of cathedrals, you might be interested in watching the archived live stream of that, and we'll bring out a long form video of that in due course as well. So is that someone in a motorboat carrying a rowing boat as they go along? That's an interesting sight. I guess they've got to get the boats around somehow, and it's certainly more efficient, be quicker than having to manually row it. You can keep it on the water that way, not having to sort of lug it into a car and tow it around to another place. That's probably the most ordinary thing in the world to anyone who's involved in the rowing world, but I've never seen it before. So I can see a bridge coming up in the distance there, and so I'm going to cross over at that stage. Can you see up there? There's some rather large nests. Maybe it's hard for you to tell, but I always think of nests as being little tiny things. So do big nests mean big birds, or or are there small birds that build McMansions for their family? So I've just been informed that we have viewers watching on all of the platforms, on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. So wherever you're tuning in, we appreciate you. There's a dog with a stick. Yes. So that young man was amused by the sight of someone walking along with an unusual looking implement strapped to the front of him. So I think we're getting up to, it looks like there's quite a few people sitting in boats up here, and as I get closer I will show you. Don't worry, I'll get it on camera. But it does look like it may be sort of the starting point of a practice session, a training session, and they might be about to begin soon. So when I get up a bit closer, I'll show you that. Looks quite nice over the other side of the Thames, actually. It sort of opens up a bit. It looks like there's a sort of a landscaped park. So to the through, you can't tell, it's sort of just, but it's sort of residential through there, so we are sort of looking in people's back gardens, but it's fairly well obscured by trees. They have some privacy. So please, if you're watching this and you're interested in this, in 3 weeks' time, we're going to pick up and carry on this walk. If you're more interested in proper countryside, we'll be in Keswick, walking around a lake on Saturday. The following Wednesday, we'll be in the far north of Scotland, on a coastal walk there, in possibly wild Atlantic conditions, and then we'll be going to Italy. So lots of variety of viewing for you to enjoy. So Saturdays and Wednesdays are usually the time to catch us, and we try to make it a rule to always start at 10:30 a.m. London time, so adjust to your own time zones. On occasions we might change the time of the live streams to fit in with special events. So because we were at the St. Patrick's Day parade in London on Sunday a couple of weeks ago, and we started a little bit later that day because we started it with the starting time of the parade, because of course it's not much point in me turning up and for an hour and a half the parade hasn't even started. That wouldn't be much fun for anyone. So yep, it's 11:39 in London. So about an hour and 10 minutes earlier than the current time is when we usually start our live streams. So if you want to catch another walk, that's the time to check in on this channel, whichever platform you're watching us from. Lost a hat. Barnes Trail Extension. Fantastic. So those signs haven't changed. It says exactly what it said on the last sign that about half an hour ago. So the extension is quite extended. Oh, okay, so this looks like preparations for some kind of viewing platform for Saturday. It's quite early to be setting up, isn't it? It being Wednesday, and the actual boat race isn't until Saturday, so they're getting in early, making sure that they've got everything set up. Yeah, so these clouds are coming in. The clouds are coming in inevitably, as they always would. But I think we'll stay dry for today. So that's an achievement in itself. The wind's picking up a bit. And there we are, sort of nice riverside residences. So these were the rowers that I was telling you about that looked like they were about to start a session. About 10 minutes ago, they were all out in the middle of the river, and they looked like they were about to start a practice run. But it looks more like it was at the end. I spotted them at the end of their training session. They're all on the shore now. So I'm afraid that wasn't the outcome I was hoping for. Trying to read that sign with my poor eyesight. Emmanuel School Boat Club? I think it says Emmanuel School. Yeah. So Emmanuel is probably a very prestigious educational establishment that I've never heard of. There's plenty of them around. There's the Bull's Head pub. Usually I'd be tempted to stop in for a pint, but my schedule today doesn't allow for that. So I think this, maybe it's Hammersmith, or the edges of Hammersmith. Oh, I can see a National Rail sign there. That's good. That means that I'm close to a train station, which is just what I want. Okay, so let's have a look at this east and heading west. So we may finish the live stream here, and we'll pick it up from Chiswick in 3 weeks' time. So thanks for joining us on this walk along the Thames Path. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, give us some feedback, let us know how we're doing, let us know what we could be doing better. And tell us more about you if you feel like it. We'd love to know more about the people who are watching our content, and you know, so that we can learn more about you and do a better job of what we're doing. So I think we'll end the live stream in about 60 seconds. So Ronald, if you're that's your cue, if you want to sort of do that, I'll say goodbye to you. I'm Andy, this is Hikarious. We're going to live stream some walks for you in the UK and abroad. So join in next time, and we'll be around about here.
In the morning light, under sky so gray, I lace up my boots, my mind in disarray. Leave the city's hustle, its frantic pace behind.